Like the Real Housewives of Max Verstappen up in here.
Checo's checked out.
Joe Gonyu is off the track. That steak is cooked.
A lot is at stake for Steak F1.
Man, even the broadcast couldn't handle that stat.
My heart almost was screaming like, how can anybody be a Lewis Hamilton fan?
No.
Not on my 2024 bingo card.
Yeah, we're gonna have to create a new one now.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Lights Out Latest. My name is Marina, and I'm here with Jason, Steven, and Tristan. And today we're going to talk all things Red Bull and Danny Ric. Kind of hopefully give him the honor that Red Bull didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get into that, though, we always film Sundays, but Monday is a very special day. It is Max Verstappen's 27th birthday, so happy birthday to Max Verstappen.
Wow.
I guess I'll give him a single clap.
What is this, his 10th year in Formula One?
10 or 11?
That is
it's
crazy.
Yep.
Insane.
Dude's an old man.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was the Girly Grid and stuff, and they were doing, the ages. I don't know if this was this year or last year, and he was putting everybody in order, and he goes, wait, I'm not, at, the youngest anymore. I'm, in the midfield by now.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's been 10 years.
He's an old head now.
He's definitely not even in the midfield anymore.
Well, yeah, well, he is kind of middle because you have, Carlos Sainz is older than him.
Kevin Magnussen.
Sainz is 30.
We do have a lot of dinosaurs.
Wow.
Sainz is 30. Alonso.
Hamilton.
Also, Pierre Gasly is older than him.
Nick
Esteban,
DeVries was older than him.
Nick DeVries.
Wow.
Yeah, so there is a lot of the grid
That's
that is
crazy.
older. Obviously, you have, Lando's younger and Oscar and...
Chuckles.
I want to say George is also older than Max.
Shot. There's no way.
He's 20. Yeah, I think he is.
I gotta fact check this.
George just ages like fine wine. You don't know what age he actually is.
George Krike.
He's 26.
26. So he is younger.
He's just maybe 6 months.
Only
a little bit
just.
less than 6 months. Because his
February
birthday
15th.
is 15th. Is that Valentine's Day or is Valentine's Day the 14th?
14th.
Okay.
That would be, if George Russell was born on Valentine's Day, that would be such a George Russell.
Such a George Russell move. Anyways, before we get into Danny Ric, let's talk 2 honorable mention headlines from this week.
Yes.
Firstly, the Ayrton Senna documentary has been announced to be 6 episodes long, and it will release on November 29th on Netflix.
Wow.
Can't wait.
Super
So
excited
wait.
for that.
I'm really interested in how they portray it because there's so many avenues they could go.
Yeah.
What's the name
As
of the
long as they
actor?
don't do it like the Martinez brothers, we'll be okay.
Oh my gosh. This is such a hot topic in our house right now. That was a terrible documentary series. Horrible.
Yeah. I keep on seeing commercials for it too. It's
and
incredibly accurate.
Yeah, that's what pisses me off. Is not one piece. There's so much inaccuracy in that film. But anyways, I'm very excited for this.
Yeah.
I'm so curious to see how this is gonna
Does
come out.
anybody know the name of the actor that's playing Senna?
That I don't know.
I could be wrong, but I feel like his name is Bruno something. He is Brazilian.
Okay.
What's really cool is so many of the actors, they nailed the casting. Elaine
say,
Prost
'cause
he looks fantastic.
looks like Elaine Prost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Ron Dennis almost pulls off the Ron Dennis. It's great.
Yeah.
Anybody, sidetrack here, anybody know Ron Dennis? Ever hear Ron speak?
Wait, I'm
I don't
sorry.
know who you're talking
I'm sorry.
about.
I got to point this out. Do y'all realize what Jason's name is right now?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Daniel Ricciardo.
Continue.
Yeah.
What I was saying is Ron Dennis would only speak in corporate speak. And I've read a couple things of people who used to work at McLaren and a book by a McLaren mechanic. He would be the stickler for every single desk to be perfectly clean. Literally when Adrian Newey joined, Adrian Newey had his office painted blue. And Ron Dennis walked in, intensely stared at him, made a fish noise, he was in a fish tank because it was blue, and the rest of McLaren was stark gray. Anyways, the point being is Ron Dennis would only talk in corporate speak. He would be like, us at McLaren Formula One racing team, we take pride in how professional our organization is, and we only have the best strategies. Or if there's anything bad that happened, he'd be like, obviously we made some miscalculations, and even though in the most prestigious areas of our strategy department, there has to be a review on our processes.
So
that's
basically
Ron speak.
So
right
basically
there.
the total
Ron
opposite
speak,
of Helmut Marko. is what you're saying.
No, yeah, exactly.
Complete opposite. Yeah, exactly.
So what I'm hoping is to reflect that
That would
with
be
the
cool.
personality. I hope he's like the most robot funny guy
James
ever.
Volz should take some notes.
Oh yeah, big time.
To answer your question, it's Gabrielle Leon. Is playing
yeah. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Which, what I think is interesting though is they are using. There's going to be like more acted scenes where it does have it, but they're using a lot of real footage,
Nice.
which I think is going to be really cool.
It's got to be
it
like a
can
60-40 mix, maybe 70-30, I
Yeah.
think.
But I'm worried it might be a little confusing because they're similar. They look similar, but they're not like identical twins.
Well, they'll probably
Yeah.
use like
So-
helmet on scenes.
Yeah.
I think.
I'd hope so.
Hopefully.
Anyways, other than that, Logan Sargent is set to complete an IndyCar test later this year.
Meyer
Yes,
Shank
he
Racing.
is.
As
Yep.
expected.
So
You know
Yep.
who owns part of Meyer Shank
I
Racing?
don't.
Liberty Media owns
Oh
a
my
third
gosh.
of Meyer
Of course
Shank
they do.
Racing.
That's unreal.
I always thought he would go to Prima.
Yeah,
No,
I thought there was
Prima
talks that he's going to have
has
testing
Callum
with him.
Ilott and rumored Marcus Armstrong, which is a name we
Which
haven't heard in a
are
while.
previous F2 drivers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So makes sense. I would argue that they are going to basically have more of a steady run now where it's like, okay, you come into our F3 team or F2 team, you don't get into F1 and there's no like talks going, let's go take you to IndyCar.
The
And
F2,
that's kind of like the funnel that I think is going to happen.
right. The F2 to IndyCar pipeline has just been growing, and it's
Yeah.
arguably stronger than the F2 to F1 pipeline right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
insane.
Yeah.
But F1 is a lot more.
Everybody
Competitive and
that
closed
is
off.
an F2 wants to go to F1.
Oh yeah, that's why they're doing
Yeah.
F2. They
Yeah.
don't want to go to IndyCar, but
Yeah.
IndyCar is
It's
like the
tough.
minor leagues, and then like Formula E is like the AAA.
Wow.
No one wants to go to Formula E.
That was a whack.
No, a better
AAA is minor
better
leagues.
comparison. No.
You
better
like double A to
comparison
AAA.
Yeah.
Where
yeah.
is you have the Premier League in England, and then you have like Serie
that's
A
good.
yeah,
in Italy. Everybody agrees that Premier League mostly has more talented teams, but Serie A will always compete for one of the best teams,
Yeah.
one of the best leagues in the world.
absolutely.
Anyway,
Right.
Anyways, let's talk about Danny Ric.
Yes.
he's not going to IndyCar. He's scared of the
No.
ovals.
But
I said that very mean.
did he
I'm
not?
sorry.
Did he not like talk about NASCAR?
Very recently, yeah, he
Yeah.
said something about like genuine interest. Whereas we
He
had
could-
even talked about on this podcast like a while ago. Like, no, he's not going to do NASCAR.
I mean,
but-
you could be like a circuit specialist. He doesn't have to do.
I
all
hope
this.
so.
There's also a lot of voices now in the F1 garage, like Kimi Räikkönen, Juan Pablo Montoya, like all these guys that are doing their one and dones
Yeah.
within
Yeah.
NASCAR. I think Jensen Button as well did a
Well,
couple races.
So here's the other thing that came across my mind too, because we were just talking about how he won Monaco.
Yes.
Yep.
Could he? Do you think he would attempt the 500?
I hope so.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
But I mean, I
Talking- you're
respect
talking
it if he doesn't want to
Indianapolis,
do
right?
it.
Yeah, Indy
Yeah.
500, and then Le Mans.
That'd be.
I don't know,
sick.
because if he genuinely does have a fear of like ovals, then that's going to be the ultimate oval. So
Yeah.
I don't know that it's a fear of ovals. I think that that's going too far. I think he just feels like
It's
there's
not worth
it's a
it.
similar mentality, yeah, to kind of
Yeah.
like. I think Michael Schumacher kind of had this mentality
Yeah.
of like, I have nothing left to prove. Like, why would I go do ovals?
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
so dangerous. So, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm
That's fair.
saying is like maybe not fear of, but it's just like it's just not worth the trade off kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely. I am so sad. I was crying all week about this. Like, we were talking about it at the tailgate yesterday as well. And it's like,
Yes.
dude, I am so pissed at Red Bull for how this all went down. Obviously, it was announced on Thursday that he would not be returning. But the rumor pipeline is that he knew Saturday
Yeah.
of quality.
And,
And
the
Liam Lawson
deeper,
knew like 2 weeks before.
exactly, he
Yeah.
had to be in the garage for 2 races in a row, staring at the guy who he knew is taking a seat.
Literally.
Mm-hmm. That
Yeah.
sucks.
I would argue that Liam
Why?
Lawson did not know 2 races before. I'd argue Liam Lawson knew a year and a half
Well,
before.
let's
Dang.
take Red Bull aside and see, why would you let Liam know so early? Does he have to prepare anything? He's done F1 races before. He's done a number of
Liam
F1
Lawson-
races.
I think Liam Lawson had to know before because they had to get that contract signed. They didn't want to leave it to the last minute, I think.
Oh, that's
That's
why.
why.
You're right.
Because that I know of, Singapore, like the Sunday of Singapore or maybe the Monday after, was the last chance they had to sign a contract before he became like a free agent, essentially.
That's true.
And he could go to Audi or he could go anywhere.
You can't have a Piastri situation, right?
Exactly. So I think that they just didn't want to leave it to chance. Obviously, contracts are not as simple as sign on the dotted line. That's not how it works.
No.
And
I
even
pretend.
after you
I
sign
don't
on the,
really.
on the dotted line, there are so many other like steps to make sure that's official that I think they just didn't want a chance doing that on like the last possible day.
No, yeah,
So
that's
I
fair.
would argue that's probably why he knew before.
100%.
It's probably a Milton Keynes signing as well. So that was probably one of the last times they were in Milton Keynes before the doubleheader. Was it a doubleheader? It was a doubleheader, right? Am
Yeah.
I tripping?
And now we have
so-
a double header of breaks.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
So rough. I
Such
hate
a
these.
long
I
break.
hate this break.
Mm-mm.
However, it does make it a lot better for U.S. fans because you do have other things to watch during this
Yes,
break.
this
So like
is
the
true.
last break felt so long because there was nothing else to watch.
We got football
Now
now.
we have college football, we have the NFL, MLB is
NASCAR playoffs.
MLB's
so-
going into the playoffs. NASCAR.
No more
NASCAR.
IndyCar.
No
Unfortunately.
IndyCar.
hockey's about to start
Hockey is in preseason. Yep.
in preseason. So we have so many things that we can still watch. But the last one was so bad, and the fact that we have two is just like, like what are we doing?
Yeah.
Can we not get rid of some of these triple headers and just make them like race 1 week break, race 1 week break, so that we don't have these big gaps?
Literally.
Yeah.
Like I understand one because for them to spend time with family and all that stuff, but it's like, you need two? Seriously?
Yeah.
So, anyways, I do want to we talk about Liam. Liam coming in for Coda will take a 10-place grid penalty for a new engine.
Gosh.
Straight off the bat.
Yep. Well, hey, at least he's getting out of the way. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Other than that, Checo rumors. Well, this is not a rumor. Checo actually did say, I don't see myself staying in F1 much longer.
Yeah.
I know the end is coming closer. Then people were like, well, he's retiring after Mexico. And he was like, actually, no. Let me just
even
like throw out
Checo
this
had
meme.
had fun with that.
That's
Yeah.
so funny. He posted the
He's
Wolf
such-
of Wall Street.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not leaving on
Yeah.
his story.
Well, he said, I'm sorry. He didn't say I'm
Yeah.
not leaving.
But that's a photo of the scene. But
Still.
Yeah, it leaves a little bit to the imagination.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he didn't want to say, if he had posted on a story being like, I'm not leaving this year, it would have been more definite, I think. And I don't think that he has that kind of power right now. I
Yeah.
still think he's like on the rocks.
because who would be next up if he would be out this year?
I
Danny
love.
Ric.
Okay, so
I wish.
I wish this were true. I think it's like the furthest thing from the truth that could possibly happen. But there is an F1 photographer who I'm obsessed with, and he was on, I want to say it was like Sky or like some morning show, and he was talking about this, and he said, I've heard some rumors that something is going down after Mexico within the Red Bull camp. And the reason that they want Liam Lawson in now is so they can evaluate him for Red Bull in the next two
That's
races.
That's the only reason why it makes sense.
So this
You're
is
right.
the only thing that makes sense
You're right.
kind of in my mind because of the utter disrespect shown to Danny Ricciardo.
Yeah.
And when I say this, let's get this right because I've seen a lot of pushback when I've talked about this like in person with people. I am in no way saying that I think Danny Ricciardo was doing a good job. I think he was doing a terrible job. What I am saying is that the utter disrespect was to tell him Saturday night that you're not going to be driving after this race.
Yeah.
And then not do a proper send-off. You didn't tell, if anything, they should have told him, the Thursday, and then, let the media know maybe Friday after practice before his very last qualifying and the race. He
Well, the
didn't get a proper
mentality
send-off.
is you want to give the 100%.
Yeah,
push.
you don't want to have him going into the race being like, "Oh, my job's lost."
Yeah, I might as
Yeah.
well just soak it in and slow down.
Yeah,
and
pull
relax.
a K-Mag
But
for
he
one
already
race.
knew. He knew. That's what I'm saying.
No,
He
Yeah.
in
knew
his
Saturday.
mind, on the Thursday and the Friday, he was like, I gotta keep pushing like crazy and do all the boring stuff
Maybe.
right.
I don't know.
I think that's what also though. Like, he still got the result on Sunday.
But
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah.
it's up to the individual at that point, right? It's like some people would just take that as like a, like a
Now, this
shotgun
is-
to the knees. You're like, all right,
this
guess I'll
is
just
going
be on my
deep.
knees. Like I can't, do anything about it.
Mhm.
Or I'd be like, well, I'll make the most of what I got left and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Right. But
Yeah.
what if Liam steps in? This is hypothetical. And does so bad, like worse than Ricardo. Does Red Bull bring back Ricardo or do they promote Sonoda?
Oh,
Oh.
that is tough.
Such a hard
I mean, I
question.
think if you're Red Bull, you can't bring back Danny Ric.
That'd be a tough as nails result.
I said this.
Like Liam should do fine, but there's a chance he doesn't.
Yeah. So
there's
I
always that
said
risk.
this last. I want to say it was last year, or maybe like when we were talking about Liam Lawson earlier this year in podcast. I genuinely do not think Yuki Tsunoda is ever going to Red Bull.
No.
I think he's doing great. Like, props to Yuki Tsunoda. He's been doing great this year, and he has genuinely matured and gotten a lot better. However, I don't see it. Like, I don't see him coming to Red Bull. He's
Yeah.
never in any of the talks, ever.
See, but also, Red Bull's engine manufacturer, Honda, right? I feel like they probably have some say in some way, shape, or form, maybe being like, hey, we give you the thing that make car go. Maybe
But they're
Japanese
not
driver in
anymore.
the seat.
Yeah, I know, and they're not
They're
coming
not
back.
anymore. They're
Yeah,
not
it's gonna
coming
be
They're not
back.
coming back now.
That's a whole.
but
That's who funded Yuki's
So,
junior career.
that's
was
what
the
I'm
Honda
saying.
Dream
That's-
program.
yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. If Yuki wasn't, like, Yuki drove this year to save his seat, because if he wasn't, with Honda leaving, it would have made Red Bull's life a lot easier.
Right.
See, maybe that's
Get
like,
rid of Yuki Tsunoda. If Yuki and
Yeah.
Daniel are both not performing, get rid of Yuki Tsunoda. Nope. Like, not
Yeah.
that nobody likes him, but, like, compared to Daniel Ricciardo,
yeah.
So
Like,
basically,
keep
what
Danny,
you're
bring
saying
Liam.
I think
is-
my aggressive take is, I'm sorry, Steve.
No, you're good.
My aggressive take is, what if it's a reverse philosophy? What if, so Checo after Mexico gets dropped or something like that or whatever. God, that's aggressive. But then instead of Liam taking that spot, Yuki takes the spot. And they're like, all right, we've let you ride the young bull. Let's see if you can take the old one by the horns
Yeah.
Yeah,
and wrestle
agree.
it.
no, it's true.
Maybe. I think it's actually not.
I
It's
agree.
crazy. That is a crazy pull. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But I think it could be interesting.
Yeah.
What
for
if
sure.
he's got experience in the
It's
sport?
not
He's
out of
got a few
bounds.
years under his
it's
hands.
not out of bounds.
And they're like, all right, listen, we're going to give you this
He's
opportunity.
experienced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think it goes both ways with him and Liam. It's like it could work out, but also like Jason says, like oh, he could. Liam's supposed to do good, but what if he doesn't? Like
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know.
I mean, so basically, what I'm hearing is it's Yuki's fault that Danny Ric is gone.
now, hold on.
So hard.
Wait a minute.
He did too good, and now
No,
Danny
it's
Ric
Danny's
is out
I
of the
think it's
seat.
Danny's fault.
It's Danny's fault. It just shouldn't happen the way it happened.
No,
That's all.
yeah.
I would
Yes,
argue that if Daniel Ricciardo had spent the better part of this year racing better than he had, he wouldn't have been the one we were talking about leaving. It would have been Checo.
See, but also, Danny shouldn't have left. If we're gonna go way back in time, what was he left?
Red Bull for Renault.
Yeah, but
That
did he
was-
leave Red Bull for Renault?
Yes.
Or, yeah,
Yes.
that's like the ultimate career move. Is
They
like,
offered
was-
him. Christian Horner was surprised. Danny was leaving at the time because he thought, "Oh, I will never win because Max is going to be number one, not me."
Yeah.
No, that's fair.
And then you look at Checo now, and it's like Checo still won races. I mean,
I
sure,
think
Max
yeah.
was number
State.
one, but
The thing is, though, too, I mean, you have two big competing personalities there.
yeah,
I mean, with
But that'll
Checo,
always
with,
be the
with,
question
with
mark.
Max and Danny Ric. I mean,
Is what if
they love each other, though.
Ricardo?
Oh,
is-
no,
yeah.
yeah, I'm sure.
I
But
would kill for those two to be on the same team together
that's what I'm
again.
saying. The
Yeah.
media content wise, it was possibly the greatest duo.
Right?
Like, I mean, obviously people say like Lando and Carlos.
Yeah.
But I love Danny Ric and Max Verstappen because
Yeah.
they complement each other
Yeah.
so well. It's like that. It's you have your outgoing friend and then you're like extra introverted friend, but the outgoing friend gets the introverted friend to be
Yeah.
outgoing.
It's yin
That's
and
what it
yang.
was.
I
It's
would-
exactly what it was.
I would
Yeah.
argue that the three best like teammate pairings or like whatever you want to call it in F1, like matchups, whatever, teammate pairings
yeah.
would be
driver lineups.
sure.
Why are we
Sorry,
yelling?
I'm
Well,
making
I'm
sure we use
That
the
was
correct.
so aggressive.
I'm making sure we're using
Well,
the
I'm not
correct
talking. The thing
vocabulary.
is, I'm not talking about like on track performance. I'm talking about like
Media-wise,
media wise. It would be
romances, if you will.
yeah,
Yeah,
There we
yeah.
go.
Now we're
I love
using the-
romances,
the-
proper
the-
term.
The what is it? The 4-point words.
In no particular order. In no particular order. Max and Daniel, Lando and Carlos and Charles.
Where does
Yeah.
Lando and Danny Ric fall into that?
It's not even.
No?
I don't think so.
Really?
At least I agree with that. I don't think it's
There was a lot of hype about their relationship going into it.
I thought it was good.
But they weren't ever friends.
They weren't ever
No?
friends. Like, they were never good friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
So I
Yeah.
don't know. I love them together, but I just don't think that they were as funny and as fun as people expected them to be.
That's fair.
If that
Like
makes
Carlos and Lando were way closer.
Yeah.
Than Danny and
No, I
yeah.
agree.
Lando.
Absolutely.
That was heartbreaking when Carlos left. Oh,
Now
Yeah.
he's stuck at Williams.
Okay,
Man.
hold on. Sidetrack. Do you think that Carlos made the wrong move to go to Ferrari? Do you think he
No.
would still be at McLaren?
I think it's hard to say now, but I mean, I think it would have been nice if he stayed at McLaren. I mean, I think he maybe would have had, especially the way the whole papaya rules are. I think he would have had more chances at wins than he does now with Ferrari.
He would have more wins than Lando Norris this year, no doubt.
Yeah.
You think so?
I don't know if
I
Lando
don't
Norris
know.
would
I
have a
respect
win this year
Lando a lot.
if Carlos Sainz was there.
I think it would be
that
pretty
might be a
similar
hot
to how it
take.
is now, honestly.
That might be a hot take, but I don't think that Lando Norris would have a win in Formula One if Carlos Sainz was still at McLaren.
That's crazy to me. I think it would be the way it is now. I think they'd have 2 wins apiece.
You see, Carlos wasn't wrong at the time to move to Ferrari.
No,
No.
at the
No.
time he made
It
the
looked
right move.
it looked good, but now
But nobody
it's
could
like,
anticipate that Lewis would have left.
Yeah. Well, tell me
Dang
in
it, Lewis.
January that Lewis Hamilton is leaving Mercedes. I would have told you were like joking. You're
Yeah.
kidding. You're
Yeah.
crazy.
Hey, I showed you. Lewis told me back in 2019.
Yep.
He said, I'm going to Ferrari.
War Tanks
Sure.
2, baby.
Oh, yeah.
The one and only.
He emailed, well, not emailed,
He
DM'd
emailed.
my
All right,
account.
Grandpa.
Email. Grandpa.
Sorry.
He
that's
direct
fax
messaged me on
machine.
Reddit, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, a carrier pigeon.
No, send it on LinkedIn Messenger.
On Tumblr.
MySpace.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Through my fax machine, I heard about 5 years ago, on a day of our Lord and Savior.
So-
Yeah, that's it
Actually,
right
Internet
there.
Explorer just loaded. I'm just finding out that Lewis Hamilton's signing with McLaren for 2008.
Yeah, Bill Gates actually told me. Can you believe that?
Here's
Bill.
another question then.
Mm-hmm.
As we talked about who could be going to Red Bull. Say if Checo's out.
Right.
Do we still think the rumors of Carlos Sainz's contract are true? The ones that said that, well, he's signing with Williams, but if a top team comes calling, he has an out?
I think so.
Yeah, I think
Do we
so.
think
I don't
that's
think
true?
he would have
think-
signed without that.
Yeah.
Like, what if Red Bull find out that Daniel is slow, Yuki is slow,
Liam
and
is slow.
Liam is slow,
Yeah.
and they call up Carlos?
The fact that
Max
Carlos
goes
would
to
be like a
Mercedes.
4th option is crazy.
You see, Carlos should have always been in that seat. I think
He was a Red Bull Junior.
I know. I think Red Bull really fumbled him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Typical Red Bull move right there.
That.
You know what the problem was at Red Bull at the time? Was tell me who was supposed to leave for Carlos Sainz to go to a main team.
No, yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Nobody,
Because
but the door
that's
is
what I'm
open
saying.
now.
That's what I'm saying. Right now, Red Bull has the most mid drivers, except for Max Verstappen, you could possibly think of.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, I'm sorry, but it's true. At the time, they didn't. At the time,
It was still
There
a
was
toss up.
still
Their
a lot of
future was
people-
very, like,
yeah.
yeah.
and they
no.
weren't a winning team. The standards weren't as high as they are,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
I
Like,
will say, I think it's starting to go backwards again.
oh, it is.
Well,
It's
sure.
starting to
Oh,
go
it
back
is.
to how
and
it was.
sucks.
Yeah.
I told you this. I think with the new regs, Red Bull's gonna be a mid-pack team.
I think that's a stretch.
I think it's
I
very
would
possible.
I
argue-
don't know.
Well,
I would like to argue that I think the best mid-pack team is going to be Ferrari. The best
Whoa.
team. Sorry.
Interesting.
Say it again. Let me say that again.
was
The
gonna
best team with
say.
new regs will be Ferrari.
next year's our year, baby.
Not next
What
year.
about
I'm
Aston,
talking about
baby?
26.
Adrian Newey, baby. Yeah.
Well, Red Bull's having their brain drain moment. Mercedes is coming up.
Mercedes
McLaren's
has
already
had their
here.
brain. Okay, can we put it this way though? Mercedes had their brain drain moment, and they're now winning races.
And they
that took
survived.
what, a year and a
Yep.
half?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A year and a half?
2022. So two
So it's
two
all of
years,
22,
year and a half,
all of
22 years.
3.
Yeah, that's it. That's
so
it.
2 years. Okay,
Yep.
that's,
It's
so
basically
it took them, like
how-
2 seasons.
Well, yeah.
So if this is Red Bull's decline and they started declining in Barcelona of 23, that means for new regs, in theory,
Oh,
they
here
should
we
be
go.
back.
Or maybe they
Here we
just
go.
never come back, like McLaren.
That's what I'm saying.
Like McLaren
I-
declined in 2012, and then 2013, and then 14 at the new regs, and they
I mean,
never
I've-
recovered
I've said
until
it before.
now.
I'm not a Red Bull fan. I'm a Max Verstappen fan, and I think that if it gets any worse than it is right now,
It took
Max
McLaren
is
10
leaving.
years to return to winning.
Yeah, but Max ain't waiting that long. Max is not going to be in F1 in
No,
10
yeah,
years.
yeah.
Max has made it very clear
So Max
that he wants
Mercedes
to
is
be.
what I'm hearing.
Yes, that he
That
wants to
is
be
so cursed.
at the best team. That's it. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Max
I
to
wouldn't be
McLaren.
I don't think it would shock me to see Max stay for 25, stay for the beginning of 26, and make a mid-season move to another team.
But I don't see Max McLaren happening.
No,
I don't either. I'm just
No.
I'm just joking.
No,
That'd
I
be
see Max Mercedes happening, and I would if I was George
Max-Sadies?
Russell.
Mercedes. That's a great one right
if
there.
I was George Russell, I would be fearing for my job right about now.
At least we won't get
Instead of
Maxilliums.
How about this? George Russell, Carlos Sainz, and Williams.
That'd
What's
be a
crazy is it
great
might
team.
happen.
Yeah, because if you put Max in Mercedes, all of a sudden George is out of a job.
No,
Mer-
they would
merge that
fire.
thing.
Where'd Alex
um,
go?
Alex Albon.
he will
DTM.
This
go-
is so hypothetical.
Banish.
We're hypothetical.
Banish.
He could replace Checo. I mean, I
Going
don't
to
know.
Banish.
DTM.
Alex Albon will find his way to rally car.
No, he'll go to the NASCAR Pinty series.
Yes.
Canada.
Oh gosh, V8 supercars.
Oh yeah.
All right.
At least that's a level above Pinty. Anyway,
Anyways, let's go. I want to like very quickly run through like Danny Ric history because there's not much to discuss because it's just his stats. But
Yep.
Ain't
he
no
was
wrong
of
with
course part of the Red Bull Junior Driver Program. Then he made his debut in 2011 with HRT, which was for people who weren't watching at the time, including myself because I had to Google this, a very poor team.
I was gonna say I didn't even recognize
Very
that.
bad team.
they had on the
think, like,
sidecar not even a
Haas.
sponsor. It said your name here.
Oh, they're like a charter.
They would
team.
have something
Nah,
on
did
that.
they really?
Yes.
That's
Look up
crazy.
the 20.
How long did they
11
last? Like
there.
a year?
Hispania Racing Team.
So HRT is in the junior formulas now, but they're
Oh
no
yeah, I see
longer
it.
in-
This could be you.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yep. That was on the side of their car.
Crazy.
Yep.
That's like legit
So-
in NASCAR when they have the blank cars.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
very
Yeah.
like back of the pack team. Made his debut in Silverstone
money.
and then drove the rest of the year before he got promoted to Toro Rosso for I think it was 3 seasons, from 2012 to 2014, and then of course promotion to Red Bull where he took home 7 wins, 3 in 2014, Montreal, Hungary, Belgium, Malaysia in 2016, Azerbaijan or Baku in 2017, China and Monaco in 2018, and Monza in 2021. Well, Monza was with McLaren, but
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
here's the question I proposed, and we talked about this before. Monaco 2018 or Monza 2021, which one was the better race win for Daniel Ricciardo?
See, here's the thing. We were watching the highlights earlier, and I do think Monaco was the more iconic win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'd say in terms of driving, I would say Monza is
I
more
agree.
impressive.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah.
I would say so too.
Especially it's more iconic because he should have won in 2016, but his teams didn't have the tires ready.
Yeah.
If you go back to 2016, like literally he was just sitting in the pit box and Lewis Hamilton scooted by and they're screaming for the tires because they didn't have them in the pit lane.
Yeah. Okay.
That hurt him
Do you
so
remember?
much.
Okay, so what's his name? Who's the guy from South Africa who does the accents?
He does a really good Carlos Sainz accent.
No, what's his name? The guy. He's on
Is he the bald guy?
No, I'm not talking F1 guy. I'm talking about.
Oh, I don't know.
I think I know who you're talking about, Jason.
He
The
does
guy
a
who
really
does, like, the-
great
I know,
Carlos
okay.
Sainz accent.
Carlos like approached to him. He was during an interview. I forget exactly what it was. Like the guy
like,
was
"My
doing an
name is
interview with
Carlos
somebody
Sainz."
with F1, and then Carlos shows up and he was like, "Oh, I'm Carlos Sainz." Like,
Yeah,
something like that.
he's so good. He
Adam
nails
Carlos
it.
Sainz.
He's perfect.
Oh, yeah.
He's incredible.
Oh God, what's his name? I'm forgetting his name. This is so embarrassing. What's his
I don't know
name?
many. I know one South African, and he's a golfer. Oosthuizen.
Dude, he's super famous.
Isn't Mohammed bin Suleiman? Isn't he South African?
No.
No?
No,
He's from Dubai.
He's from Dubai.
Oh, yes.
Our
We
president-
talked about this last time.
El
Dude,
President.
what's his
My
name? Anyways,
president.
My
Suleiman.
president.
He's on a late night talk show.
Oh.
What's his name?
Oh, are you thinking of the late night guy?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
What's his
John
name?
Oliver?
No.
No.
Oh.
He's British.
He does the accents? The
Oh,
late night
Trevor
guy?
Noah.
That's what I was going to say next.
Okay.
Trevor
Yes.
Noah
He
is
does
South
accents?
African?
Or no,
Yeah.
not accents.
Yeah.
He does.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So Trevor Noah's kid met Daniel Ricciardo when Daniel Ricciardo went on his show. And his kid goes, you were supposed to win in Monaco in 2016, but the team, they failed you. They didn't have the tires. It was the cutest thing I've ever seen. And Daniel Ricciardo turns to him and goes, how old are you? How do you even know that? Because he was born in like 2019. But he went back and watched it.
If we're talking media moments with Danny, one of my favorite ones, and this is from Top Gear. Because Danny's one of, like, they had like 8 drivers on there to do. I don't know. Is everyone here familiar with Top Gear?
Yes.
We all are aware?
Yes.
Okay. So Top Gear has this, what do they call it? I think it's like the simple car or something like that. Everybody drives the same car essentially around their
Our
airfield.
star.
Oh, yes, where they race the Stig. They try to get the best time.
Well, no. So they race just for the best time on their own, but they try and beat the Stig, obviously.
Yeah, but they put him in like a tiny little car.
Yeah, like it
It's-
could be like
fast
their
car,
big
slow
Ford
driver
Focus
thing?
or something
no,
like that.
it's like their big star and a reasonably priced car.
Reasonably priced car. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yes.
So he still has the record to this day as the fastest Formula One driver in the
Yes,
reasonably
I have the
priced
list
car.
up here if you want the rundown.
But give us a rundown.
So this determines the best F1 drivers of all time.
Obviously,
We have Daniel Ricciardo,
number 1.
Lewis Hamilton,
Yep.
Mark Webber,
Yep.
Sebastian Vettel, Rubens Barrichello, and number 6 is the Stig. So those are
Which
top
was
The
6.
also
Stig
just
apparently was
revealed.
never. Yeah, it
Did
was
Max
never, a
never
Formula
go
One
on
driver.
Top Gear?
No.
No, because Top
He was
Gear had
too young.
ended before
2016.
Max was really.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
We have a couple other drivers here.
I thought he went on Top Gear in 2016.
But my favorite instance isn't that from Top Gear. It's when they're doing their interview with Daniel Ricciardo, and Jeremy Clarkson asks the crowd, he's like, so does anybody have any questions for Daniel while he's here? And somebody in the crowd goes, how does the back of Lewis's bumper look like? And Danny
Oh
Danny
my
flips him off, and the crowd's like that.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
Okay, so-
also,
funny.
rest in peace to the Grand Tour. Oh.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
over.
Yeah. I don't,
I'm sure a lot of people that listen to the pod as well. Every single one of us has consumed media from Jeremy James and Richard Hammond.
End of
Anybody
an
watch
era,
the
man.
American Top Gear? Ever?
Yes,
I
yes,
never did.
Tanner
I
Faust.
did when it was
Rutledge.
new.
Tanner Faust is cool.
I
He's
would
a hell of a
watch
rally
that.
driver.
Oh
Tanner
yeah,
Faust is awesome.
he was on McLaren for a little bit.
Was he?
Extreme E.
Speaking
Was he
of-
really?
He's a McLaren driver. Yeah.
Speaking of,
Zach Brown had him on the paychecks.
Interesting.
Speaking of media moments, we're
yeah, I
gonna
was gonna say,
do
does
a
anybody
little.
have a media moment?
Oh, if you want to, yeah.
I'm a real.
Oh, no, I was gonna say if anybody,
Athlete
I don't know
sweat.
why that came to mind. I don't know if anyone has like an immediate like
Yeah, do
right away.
Do Steven or Jason have a media moment?
Danny Ricciardo.
Oh, I just said it. I just acted it out.
What'd you do?
Was it?
Rah,
Oh,
rah.
Kiki.
That's a great one.
I'm an athlete.
Kiki, hey.
Real athlete sweat.
Yeah, that's a great one too.
I love that one.
I don't know that I necessarily. I mean, that would probably be my
The-
pick, honestly.
Into the
That's
pool.
a great one too. Yeah.
Well, okay, so now you guys
That's
are getting
media.
into. Okay, so we're gonna
Or
do.
sometimes when he's angry, it's like no words. I
No
can't
words.
believe it. Like
True.
him being.
Oh no!
so
Wait, the
hurt.
one where he's walking away from the car and he goes, his helmet.
Yeah. That was what was that? That was 2018 Baku, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Right.
do. We're gonna do a blind rank.
Oh, I'm
only
so
I
excited
know
for
them
this.
of Danny Ric moments.
Okay.
So y'all hit the first one.
How many are there?
There's 5.
Okay.
So 1 through 5. The pool dive in Monaco.
It's number 1.
I'm not comfortable.
That's number 1.
I'm gonna put that at 2. I
I'm
would
gonna
say
put
2.
that at 2.
Two.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
it's
right, well, I'm
already 2.
outnumbered, so it's got to be 2. Man,
right.
that's like the most iconic picture of his whole career.
You gotta play this safe though. This is the first one.
All
This
right.
is the first
I
one.
guess.
Number 2,
Alright.
riding a horse into the Coda paddock.
Oh, it was fantastic.
I put that.
Um,
You say it was 5?
I'm going 4.
I'm gonna go
Yeah,
4
I'd
as
go
well.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Okay.
go 4.
Number 3, real sweat, baby. Kiki. Ah.
Kiki, rah,
Kiki.
rah.
Now, see,
Da, da.
to me, that might just be number 1.
Oh.
That might just be number 1
That's
for
what
me.
I want to say.
There's
3.
gotta be a funnier thing he said. Like this has to be a number 4. I'm at number 3 or 5.
Okay, we can. I'm down with 3. I'm down with 3.
I'll go with 3.
Okay.
I'll go with
So
3.
we have 2 is the Monaco dive.
Yep.
Yeah.
3 is real sweat.
Kiki.
And 4 or 5, did we say the?
It's 4.
4.
4.
So
Okay.
we have 1 and 5.
1 and
Yes.
5.
All right.
Yeah, Jesus.
4 is his driver names. Nico.
Oh, I love that.
Or Pierre
Oh.
Gasly.
I'm gonna go with 5.
Really?
Go 5 on this one.
I'll go 5.
Well, you only have 1 and 5.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
know,
say. So
but-
we gotta
okay.
trust and
So-
hope the last
We'll
one's
go
really
5.
good.
So 5 is one that I could probably recite by heart.
That's
I don't
a
know
good
if y'all
sign.
are gonna know it though. Enjoy the butterflies. Do you guys know that?
What's
Oh
that
yes,
from?
yes.
Yeah.
Isn't that like his speech or something?
Hold on.
I remember.
What's
that
it
like,
from?
I remember
Isn't it
hearing
from
that.
like after a race?
Enjoy the butterflies. enjoy being naive.
Oh, this was like when he left,
This is when
right?
he left McLaren.
Yeah.
The pressure.
All right, we gotta
Oh,
give
that's
you-
so
all right,
sad.
that's
All
pretty
right,
good
that's a
for
good
one.
number one. I'm happy with that.
That's a
fine.
nice, happy
That's
ending
nice.
right there.
I like that.
That's nice. That's a
So-
good one.
That makes me cry every time I see it. And people keep reposting it now that he's
Yeah.
leaving. It's such a good message, and it's a message that translates so well to like out of the sport.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like
I've seen so many posts.
you
with
can't do
that.
it all from day one.
No.
So
Beautiful,
that.
great rank.
it's a beautiful rank.
Great
Big
rank.
fan.
that
So-
worked out very nicely.
Big
Enjoy the
fan.
Butterflies is one.
Mhm.
2 was
That was the first one.
the pool in Monaco. 3 was Real Sweat. 4 was the horse in
Yep.
the paddock. And 5 was the driver names, which is kind of sad, but I feel like it's a good rank. I think you
Yeah,
guys did a
I
good
The
think-
job.
coolest thing about that though is we could have made a list of 30.
Oh,
Yeah.
Now,
for sure.
and known probably most of them. Like
Yeah.
meaning
Yeah.
like all of us would probably know them. Like, I was just thinking another one. When Zach Brown let him drive Dale Earnhart's number 3
That
car.
was
Yes.
awesome.
There's one.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's-
like there's just a ton of them.
Yeah. I think
Or when him and Max were sat at Spa in the little chairs, and the guy
Yeah.
comes by on the bike, you know, or they're doing their little interview.
Yeah.
remember the Hola Todos.
Yeah,
Everybody.
yeah. It's incredible.
And it's all like, think of a time when Danny Ric did something in the media that wasn't fun,
Yeah, yeah.
True.
True.
that wasn't
It's
real.
impossible.
You know, I think, and I said this, if you guys saw my Fun Fact Friday, the reason people are so sad and like I'm almost in tears about Danny Ric leaving is because he wore his heart on his sleeve.
He
It's
did.
because he showed people
I need this
who
moment.
he was.
Keep going.
What?
No, keep talking. I gotta find it.
He was the personality for Drive to Survive. That's
Yeah.
how people got into the sport, is
Yeah.
by seeing this mega personality in Daniel Ricciardo
Yeah.
and coming to watch and coming to see what it's all about. So I think that's why people are so distraught about him leaving, and more so, and we didn't really talk about this too much, the utter disrespect of Red Bull to do this the way they did it,
Yeah.
of Helmut Marko to say what he said.
I did not see
I need
what
to see
Helmut
this-
Marko said.
All right.
Oh,
so
it was
this
evil.
is you might know it when you see it. This is Daniel Ricciardo giving a tour of his motorhome.
Oh, I love
and
this.
this is the bathroom.
Bathroom.
I haven't seen this before.
Is that towel still? Oh, jeepers. Sorry, guys. It's awkward.
Jeepers.
Don't tell Seb about the towel either. It'll get weird between us.
That's fantastic.
So it's like,
That's so funny.
Yeah.
and well, obviously as a Max fan too, there's so many moments we could talk about between the two of them, and it's like,
Yeah, Baku 2018. You know.
that's not the moments I was talking about. But sure. I mean,
That's a moment.
Max. Well, Daniel. Max said some stuff to Sky. Obviously not in the press conference because we know all about that stuff. But he had an interview after Singapore, and he was talking about Daniel and their relationship and their friendship. And Daniel they showed him the interview, and then he said, Max is the only person in this paddock that has stuck by me from day one. That is always like, and even if you see like, everybody will post and comment on his post and on like F1's post of like him leaving, and you'll see like Max's comment is literally like, hold on, I'll pull it up so you can see if I can. It's like, head up, many more beautiful moments to come. Everyone's like,
yes.
because I think that everyone else, not everyone, but a lot of people had a bigger focus kind of on, a little bit of focus on them, like, I'm gonna miss you, or we're gonna miss you. And it's like, Max is like, you still got this. And not to say that people are wrong for saying that. Everybody said that. I said that. But it's just, it's a special relationship there.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
It is. I think it's mutually positive also to think about that. Daniel is free from the gruesome business that is Formula One.
Yeah.
I think now there's a great possibility for him to maybe enjoy his life a little bit more in terms of performance-wise, if there's a sport he
Yeah.
wants to get into. Like, again, we've talked NASCAR, but what if he wants to try rally, or what if he wants to, I mean, Australia has a ton of V8 supercars.
Yeah.
You know, or something like
Absolutely.
that. I mean,
Yeah.
also, if he's a NASCAR fan, I know Australia has a little bit of a dirt track
Yeah.
scene over there. Maybe he'll try a 410 Sprint
Yeah.
midget or something like that.
Can
you
we
know?
have a Danny Ric travel show?
That'd be sick.
Oh,
It'd be
so
really
fun.
cool.
Oh,
Hate to go back to like Top Gear, but James May has that exact idea. After
Yeah,
they did
I
the
saw that. Yeah.
Our Man Abroad. That's what it's called.
Is
He just
that-
goes to countries and just
is
does
that on
whatever he
American
wants.
TV or is that just British TV?
I think it's on. It's on the internet, but I think
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
whatever. But
Okay.
yeah, I just think this opens up a lot of possibility for such a colorful
Yeah,
personality.
he could
Oh,
be
yeah.
on the Australian breakdancing team.
Or
I mean,
even-
Yeah.
Gosh.
After
Or even like, this is like the most, let's say, normal idea probably. But it's like even commentating.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
he
a hell of an
did
idea,
that. Yeah, he did that
Or,
last year. Remember,
or
it was
a
canceled
podcast.
because he went back in the
Yeah.
car.
Imagine Danny Ric having a podcast.
Yeah,
Tell me
if it was-
every single F1
It'd be
fan would watch
fantastic.
that.
It would be
He
like
also has so many celebrity friends that could
Yeah.
would want to hop in on it.
it would be like the Pat McAfee show, but with F1.
And he could
Yeah.
get a lot of
Or-
people on because he's such a big name.
Yeah, and not only such a big name, but someone that everybody loves.
Yeah.
Like I don't
Yeah.
think Danny Ric has beef with anyone
Yeah.
that we know of. I mean,
Probably
like,
Helmet Marco.
yeah, but you
Red
know what I'm
Bull.
like between the drivers and stuff like
Yeah,
that, and like
absolutely.
Unless it's
huge
SNL,
friend of
but
Josh
he
Allen.
doesn't.
Yes.
The
he
Bills,
is a
the
huge-
Bills put like a couple
huge
hearts in
Bills
his
fan.
like farewell post or
yeah.
something like
So
that.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping I'm hoping to see him at a couple Bills games this year. That would be really
He's a
fun.
Texas
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah.
They might go to national.
He is.
Here's the vision. I think I already laid this out. So the vision is Texas makes the national championship against Penn State, and you have Matthew McConaughey and
Michael Allen Key.
Michael Allen. Yeah, McConaughey's a Texas fan. Ricardo's a Texas fan. On the other side, you have Allen Key.
Who is the
and, like,
most
Saquon
notable?
Barkley.
Yeah, I was gonna say who's
and,
the
like,
most
LeVar
notable
Arrington.
celebrity Penn State fan?
Oh, you have the guy from the not the Office, Modern Family. He graduated from there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's where you lose me. I don't.
I
So
forget
you
what his
see,
name
remember.
is.
The
but yeah.
all-star lineup is not the football game, but Danny Ricardo with Matthew McConaughey.
Well, hey,
Well-
we gotta talk about
See.
Dakota weekend. That's gonna be the most epic weekend of all time.
But imagine how much
True.
it hurts
Yeah,
for him
so-
to attend that.
no,
that
yeah, I'm
weekend,
sure. but-
If you are a UT F1 fan, you are going to have the best weekend of your life because F1 is in Coda and UT played Georgia on Saturday.
Yeah, a Georgia that just got whooped.
I wouldn't say
Alabama.
whooped.
It
They
was
were.
It was a
They were
They were
getting
getting
whooped.
whoops. We were in the stadium for Penn State, Illinois, watching not watching it because the service is terrible as
Oh,
in
but
any
shout out!
stadium.
I had great internet.
Did you really?
Did you
Really?
join the
At Beaver
fan Wi-Fi?
Stadium. No, I was on 5G.
Oh.
I had 4 bars of 5G. Granted, I wasn't in the student section. I
The
was in
fan
the opposite
Wi-Fi
end
is
zone.
nice.
Oh,
But I had no problems getting. I was texting. I was sending pictures.
I was
Ooh.
texting.
Welcome to 21st century.
Sending pictures was kind of.
Dude, that's a
going-
big
once
jump.
you-
You guys know that's a
yeah,
big
yeah.
jump.
Once you're
Yeah.
gonna Beaver, you're back to the 1700s in terms of internet connection.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's
literally.
terrible. But that's not just our stadium. That's stadiums in
No,
general,
yeah.
especially the student section with 109,911
Yep.
people in attendance last night.
Remember the number? That's crazy.
I just remember seeing it like 3 times on
Oh,
the
fair,
screen,
fair.
and
I
they
think it's the
said
highest
it.
this year so far.
I think it
Yeah.
is.
Yep.
Yeah. But
White out
just,
energy.
when it's absolutely
White
packed
out
like that,
energy.
to get data is crazy. But we were refreshing the score and just seeing Georgia 28, like they were 28-0, Alabama whooping them.
Oh yeah.
And they were able to come back pretty close. They were winning for a hot second there with 2 minutes left in the
Yeah.
fourth.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it wasn't enough. Bama just got him.
Yep. Hey, Penn State moved up to 7.
Yeah.
At risk of
Yep.
becoming a CFP podcast, Miami should have lost, and
Yeah.
USC, I don't know how they recovered that game.
yeah.
It
just
just is
that's
not so much
incredible.
of a
It
big
gives
one.
us more fuel because we look so much better than USC and Miami's last
Can
couple
we
of
talk about
We
the
do
fact
and
that
we
Georgia
don't.
has a 4-1,
Yeah.
And they almost
and
lost
they're
to
still
Kentucky.
ahead of us?
no, I knew that was gonna happen.
Ole Miss lost.
I knew that was
That's
gonna happen.
Yeah, that was definitely gonna
bullshit.
happen.
That's
Well,
bias.
'cause look,
That's
here's the
bias.
thing.
You should the ranking
No,
should be based on
they
ranking.
had like the 1 and 5 team. Like if you're not gonna rank Rutgers above Georgia because Rutgers is undefeated,
Yeah.
their toughest team they played is probably Washington, who's terrible this year.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing is too, if you look at it, are you gonna
Or
say Penn
Duke.
State's gonna
Duke
beat
is
Georgia right now?
no.
If you put, yeah, so you're not gonna put them behind
might.
Penn State.
They
I think we
might.
have a
You wouldn't
chance.
do that.
We got Drew Lamar Alar.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I can't believe he
Start
said that. Great stuff.
Golly.
Great stuff.
Um,
Love it. He could run.
Drew played great last night.
Yes.
Again, at risk of this becoming a college football thing. But are there any last thoughts on Danny Ric?
Remember the butterflies.
I look forward to him competing on the breakdancing team.
Taking Ray Gun's spot.
Well,
No,
simply the fact-
teammates. Like
Ah,
Ray
I
Gun
see,
will be
I
the
see, I
coach.
see.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well,
You see, the play is he's on the team, so he gets a jersey and gets to travel, but he sprains his ankle on the day of,
Oh,
and just let
man.
Ray Gun go.
What if-
so he
what
gets
if-
all the pageantry, but none of the.
What if Danny
competition.
Ric turns into like the Snoop Dogg of Australia? You know what I mean? Like the Olympic style.
Oh yeah, just shows up.
Yeah.
That'd be
Sick.
awesome.
He would be an
Sick.
ambassador. He
Yeah.
should be an ambassador to
Yeah.
the U.S.
He
from
should
Australia.
be
Yeah.
the torch carrier. Like,
Ho-
Yeah.
Oh, hopefully though,
He should
if
be
he,
in
if he
LA.
if he did that, hopefully he would restore the relationship between Australia and the U.S.
International relations specialist.
Yeah.
Yes.
anyways, the fact that we can spend 45 minutes talking about Daniel Ricciardo and still not talk about everything there is to talk about him, just goes to show the person that he is and the absolute light that he brought to Formula One. We will miss him dearly, but on to the next couple races. In between now and then, don't forget to check out our podcast every week, Mondays at 11:30 Eastern Time, and our Instagram and TikTok at Lights Out Latest for Tech Tuesday, Wag Wednesday, Throwback Thursday, Fun Fact Friday, and some Man on the Street content. Bye, guys.
See
Peace.
ya.